Alrighty, today is Sunday the 5th of September, 6:23 a.m. And today this is our special Sunday message, Speedy Manifesting with Neville Goddard. And of course your host, Mr. 2020. Let's dive in. I was raised Catholic. I went to St. John the Baptist Catholic school even, 8 years. Couldn't stand no more. So I went to Geibel High School, Catholic. Anyway, none of that really matters, does it? Because here's what I noticed. A lot of people, they're really holy on Sundays. On Sundays, they sit, stand, and kneel. On Sundays, they give a tithe. On Sundays, they do their thing. And then they were heathens all week. This is how my mind as a little boy worked. My mind as a young teenage boy, I noticed one of the church, I don't know what we called them, the elders, really high ups, right? So, yeah, he's a nice guy, Frank. And Frank was always at Mass on Sundays, always passing around the collection plate, all that stuff. By the way, I'm getting to a point here, and it's not judgmental. It's called real life. And Frank would pass the plate around. Meanwhile, during the week, I'd go and I'd buy porn as a teenage boy in Frank's newsstand, right? Because we didn't have the internet back then, and I liked pretty girls. So it's like, all right, I'll go buy the Playboy Letters little magazine, or occasionally a Playboy, something like that. That's what I was into, something classy and tasty. The articles actually were good. But meanwhile, Neville says this is not something that you do once a week, like church. This is not something that you do once in a great while, like whenever you see the mailman coming and you know it's not good news. Neville said to let this become like breathing. Let it become your everyday way of being. Like breathing. If you just use this for problems, if you just use this for the big win that will set you free, right? It'll be the lottery win. It's sort of like, I loved the Lord of the Rings movies. God, they went on forever, didn't they? But the books went on forever and ever and ever. Amen. See, as a little boy, I looked at the incongruency and I went, this can't be right. Yeah, I'd see the priest obviously drunk during the week. I know he didn't pay for his chicken meals at the diner. When I was a teenager, I was dating a girl there. She told me he'd come in for two. He didn't just get one free meal a night, he'd get 2 free meals. All right, they didn't charge him because he was the local parish priest. Yeah, how nice. Right, got a free house, got a free car. But meanwhile, see, I'm not judging him. What I'm judging are the consequences of being incongruent. If you make this a once a week thing, if you make it something that you preach but not live, if you make this a bumper sticker, because anyone can say the words, imagining creates reality. Anyone can say they bought the pearl. Anyone can say anything. It doesn't matter. Words don't have power. Maybe you've noticed it, maybe you haven't. That doesn't mean they're not useful. They're like the turn signal of a car. They indicate something. They can help send a message. Right? Morse code doesn't have any power, right? Da da diddy da da. See, but I used to be able to do it at 35 words a minute or something, 35 characters a second. I don't remember. I used to be fast at it, but I don't play there anymore. I left the state of amateur radio operator many years ago, but I can still use English, and I still use English every day. You see, let this be like breathing. Let this be what you do every day. Imagining. Your imaginal experience leads your physical experience all the time. No exceptions. That's called buying the pearl. When you realize that, when you live by that, when you stop making exceptions, you'll start having excuses. Some people tell me, I believe it works for this, but not that. I says, well, how do you make up your mind? You see, you want to do something that's really fun. Don't make this like going to church on Sunday and selling porn to teenage boys 7 days a week. And by the way, I don't have any problems with Frank having done that. I would have gone someplace else. But it's just it's that congruency, guys. It's the congruency. Don't just make Sundays special. Don't use this for problems. See, I know a lot of people, they only imagine up for that special win that will fix it all. Or they only come back when there's a problem. Hey, Mr. 20, I'm back in the group. I got a problem. Hey, Mr. 20, you haven't heard from me for a while because now I have a problem. And I'll ask, are you doing the Joseph Goddard bit? And they'll say, what's that? I'll say, right, hey, I haven't been watching any shows recently or listening to any podcasts. I'd suggest you do that. See, I keep sharing the gold. And don't make this about special Sundays. Let it be about every fun day. Because, you see, I read in the group, Sizzle just shared a win. Right? Another one. Sizzle shares them almost every day. And he takes a little break, then he comes back and he shares them pretty much every day. I was chatting with a couple Triple D members from the older classes yesterday. And we were just talking about simple, endless wins. Just sharing a couple from that day with each other. Whenever you stop making this special, it gets simple. When you stop making Sundays the special time where you go to church, you discover the holiness in every moment. And the holiness, if you know where the root holy comes from, it comes from the same root as health, I am told. And that means wholeness. And what's the ultimate wholeness? There's one cause, and that's your imaginal experience determines your physical experience. How you are aware of anything determines how it shows up in your life. There is money in the world. There's loogie in the world. There's war in the world. There's love in the world. How it shows up in your life are you a participant? Are you a spectator? Do you have plenty of the fun and not much at all of the bad? See, Neville says you didn't come here to end the world's horrors. Right? You came here to wake up. You came here to know imagination. You came to determine what shows up in your life, how money shows up in your life, how love shows up in your life, how I show up in your life, because there are people that don't like me. I find it fascinating because I'm not the one sharing these little type 777 and amen and you'll have $1 million by Wednesday posts. I happen to believe you're more intelligent than that. I happen to believe that you can get, see, I imagine that you can get and you can explore like we have for a couple decades how imaginal leads the physical. And this is where the crash commercial comes in. This is why we don't do manifesting methods till week 3 in manifestingmasterycourse.com. Because week 1 is all about helping you discover your triggers and how vast and fast you are, how you are actually giving life to your day-to-day experience. Not just that you are giving life to it, but how you're doing it. Exactly how. Once we explore that in a fun, gentle, cool kind of way, then we get you unloopy, because most people, they're loopy. They keep manifesting the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. And they keep imagining, right, if I go to church on Sundays, if I just have this one big wish, if I sacrifice my whatever. Anyway, skip all that. If you want to dive deeper, manifestingmasterycourse.com. We've got 3 seats left for dreamdrivenday.com. I just sent out the email. See how long they last. Starting soon. And finally, for the sharers, those who share the shows, those who share their lives with us, sharing is caring. You know, we're sharing something. Somebody shared this, so you got to listen in. If you got gold, share it someplace. Share it on Facebook. Share it in a group. Share it on your timeline. So I'll give you a hint. Ready? Every day I unfriend about 10 people on Facebook. And I'm not doing it to be mean. It's because I get up to 5,000 people and Facebook won't let me have any more friends. And I figure I want to be friends with people who are friendly. And I'll look at their timeline and I'll notice, you know what they're doing? They're imagining up problems. They're not sharing any good stuff. They're sharing just distractions. I've never heard from them. I see if they've ever messaged me. If they haven't, they're gone. And it's nothing personal. It's called real. See, I want to be friends with real friends. Congruence, gang. Let this be like breathing. Join us at manifestingmasterycourse.com. See ya.